Hello everyone, it's Boobity2 here, also known as the and welcome back to another game review. This time it's of Lee Sin and a solo queue game that I played. Pretty sure it was yesterday. And I wanted to do this quick little, backdrop story thing, for lack of a better word, in terms of what's going on in this game. For some reason we have a Jarvan mid, which I didn't know because I was like 4th pick and I just picked the thing and I went to have a poo or something. And our top lane is autofill, and for some reason she chose to pick Aurelia, which is really fucking bad, especially into a Jax, if you have no idea how to play the champion. And I factor that into basically figuring that if I gank top lane, Aurelia's not going to have any idea what the fuck to do with their lead, so you'll see that I'll most be focusing in bot lane and casting pre-6 in the mid lane. And I chose Lee Sin, and as some of you might know, is that my Lee Sin is really fucking bad. I've got a 45% win rate on him, although I'm mostly just playing flex queue, just like practice stuff. But in this game, I chose him because I saw the Ashe and the Karma. I thought it'd be a good choice. So yeah, that's about it, really, of why I chose him. I think that I should play him more in solo queue because, as this game will probably show, it seems like the reason I'm not doing so well with him in like flex queue and stuff is because I fuck about on him a lot, and I don't really take the champion particularly seriously. Whereas when I do take him seriously, and I feel a bit of anxiety about certain plays that I do, like in solo queue, then it's probably a better for me. So let's get into the review. So the first thing which I was thinking is that, well, just putting that to the side, what I was wanting to do with this one is that I wanted to do this review before I go into a review one-on-one with my coachy boy, Aether, the Chopper Chop himself, Aetherton Wing. So I wanted to do this first before he corrupts my mind with all of his logical reasoning and thoughts. So, pretty standard stuff of just starting by just walking to this point. I always walk to this point in solo queue, just because very rarely do people even fan out. Like right now, I have no idea why Leona's just standing there for no reason. Aurelia standing on the tower does absolutely nothing for us. And so if they were invading on my red buff, I wouldn't know, because Aurelia's a dipshit, and for some reason we need 3 people in this bush. But, yeah. So I decided that I'm going to start red buff because I want to basically just manipulate the fuck out of our top laner, because she's going to be a useless pile of shit the whole game because she has never played Aurelia before and she doesn't play top lane because she's a support player. So it's like, top lane's basically already over, and so I ignore the ever-living shit out of it. And so what I want to do is to basically use her as a resource to basically just give me the best leash possible, and then I can be in bot lane at level 3 or do something in mid lane, because I'm just going to ignore top lane the entire time because there's really no point in putting any attention or faith in this guy, because it's a fucking 1v1 me matchup between Jax and Aurelia, and that's not, I don't think that's basically worth any time or thought or focus at all. What ends up happening this game is that it starts off really well for me, and then we make a really bad play in mid lane, then after that the game's basically over. But we'll get to that eventually. And basically, we probably could have won this game if I just pinged everyone to just get the fuck off of what we were doing at that time, but we'll get into that when we get to it. Pretty standard start of doing red, wolves, blue. Generally, I don't like starting raptors in solo queue, just because half the time your mid laners aren't very good at leashing them, and also getting level 4 first doesn't really mean anything. I don't know, it's just like the jungle pathing is always so just random from player to player, so it's basically like I don't know if they're going to invade me or not, but in this game in particular, Yi's not really going to be anything special against Lee in the early levels. So I do my standard thing. I can't gank mid or bot lane, so I go for like a deep vision just to check where Lee is, or Yi is, and see if he's got his raptors up. And I saw that he was there, but generally I saw that the raptors aren't there, so he's topside jungle. Most certainly. And then we get a little bit of thing onto Ashe. Let's review this part exactly. I remember thinking at the time, as soon as I got in, why Leona went in on that. So I got the raptor vision, then I saw that I could make a little bit of an opportunity in bot lane, because generally people don't ward the tri-bush at all in bot lane, like pre-level 3. But she got really low and she should not have went in on that. Like she went a little bit too far on that. Although I guess I kind of baited her into it maybe. We got Ash's flash and heal, pretty sure. I just want to look at the Leona and if I actually had an effect on that, because she is pretty low. They got poked out, which they should be mindful of because it is karma. And so basically I'm kind of baiting them into this, and they get chunked super hard from that karma Q. And she goes in with really low HP. And he uses heal, but because she's ignited, she doesn't get like any worth out of it at all. I probably baited her into doing that, but it's not my fault that they got poked like crazy and weren't standing behind their minions like they should do. The tutorial tells you to do it all the time. Why can't you do it in a solo queue game? I don't know. So I feel like when I'm standing here, this is actually really bad because I have no idea if this bush is warded at all. Usually, if I'm playing support, I would ward this bush if I'm getting pushed in like this, but because I saw that Ashe is really low and Lucian's on his own and Master Yi is... He could easily just be coming straight down because usually Master Yi players want to go where they can get like confirmed kills, and because this stays around so long, he might be able to like just come in and kill the Lucian. But the Ashe hawk shots me out, and then at that point I realise that I wasn't seen the whole time, because why would you hawk shot if you have a ward, you know? Now I see that they want to push in, and I feel like I can do a return gank here, especially with Leona back in the lane. And then we kill her, so that was pretty nice. Generally the thing that I think about when I'm playing Lee, as well as stuff like Kha'Zix and other like early game junglers like Elise as well, is I want to do the best gank jobs that I can instead of doing like farming and clearing and stuff, just because it's not to the strength of the champion. And against the Master Yi, like I have to try and get champion kills and focus on champions as soon as possible, because he's going to scale, I don't scale, and so it's like I have to get our team ahead enough that it's not that big of an issue. And then Yi goes and takes my Krugs, which is the right thing for him to do because I was hanging around bot lane for so long. But it doesn't bother me too much because I generally don't even take Krugs until like level 9 or something, because they just take too long, and it slows down my effective time of what I can do on the map and in the game, in the early game. I should have recalled a lot sooner than that. I should have realised that mid's basically ungankable and walking up to here is pointless, but, you know, it's like a 3-second thing that can mean all the difference, so I should have just recalled after Grump, like, immediately. Then this happens over here. And he gets a kill, so that's nice, that's good for us. Getting Kassadin like down and low and trying to knock him down pre-6 is the best idea, because obviously as soon as he gets 6 and it's basically going to be impossible to kill him, he's going to have a lot more room potential. It's the same thing with Twisted Fate. This is a bait like crazy, like holy shit. You really wanted him to just EQ into that. But yeah, Yi's holding the mid wave because Kassadin isn't there. Top lane's pretty much over at first blood, like even if I were to have ganked top lane like level 3, I really doubt that we could have done anything. Also, Master Yi was in the top side of the map. And it also wouldn't have meant that I wouldn't have gotten a kill on the Ashe and the Karma, which is kind of like the people which I want to fuck up, because I'm playing Lee, and he's going to be, those two are going to be the easiest ones to get, because Jax can escape, Yi can escape, and Casting can obviously escape. So Skank in mid lane, let's have a look at it. Slow it down real quick. The Yi stays really long. I try and get the Q on him, but he does a flash at a weird angle. Like, he flashes directly forward, and I was expecting him to flash, like, diagonally down, because that's the route that he was going to take, so that really confused me, and that would have given me a kill if I actually landed the Q on that. I'm not sure if I should have landed the Q sooner. I don't know, I don't think I should have. I don't think I could have. Maybe I could have caught it at the tail end of that knock up there. Let me check that. Maybe there was, like, if I, thinking about it like this, right? When I recalled over here, if I recalled there and saved like 3 seconds instead of there, then I would have taken the Raptor camp and I would have been in mid very easily. Like, I would have been like here already on the minion. Like, I would have already been there back like 2 seconds ago, then I would have easily been able to land the Q and kill him. So that's a misplay on my part. And also just that flash angle was just really weird to me. I was almost certain that Q was going to hit, and I was really confused why it didn't at the time. Now, I don't win this fight, but I just harass the hell out of him anyway because he can't kill me. Because I can just W away and flash away or whatever at any point. So I feel like it's better to try and just get him as low as possible. Jesus. Delicious little coughing. But yeah, I knew that he couldn't kill me, so I just wanted to harass him and get him pretty low so that it kind of bought time for the job, and it's like a bit of an advantage that we can get. And I see that this Yi is coming in for this, and I feel like I can kill him because he doesn't realise that I can see him. Do I actually win this fight? Let's have a look. Ooh, yes, I flashed after him. That was good. So yeah, the Master Yi should not have come back here at all. Like, he's really low and he uses flash. And I'm not an idiot. So I can ward him there, and I see him, and he doesn't know that I can see him, and I can just do this and then kill him. So this is really nice. I like this. So I know that I can fight him because I have my W, I have lifesteal, and his like untargetable stuff doesn't really matter. And I knew that he was going to go for the blast cone, and I flashed on it, which was quite nice. And take him down, that's all good. Then I've just got to be careful about mid lane. He doesn't have 6 yet, so I'm not really that interested or bothered. And I have this warded, so if he does come like he does, I can see him coming. And because I know that he doesn't have 6, like, I don't give a flying fuck. Like, I'll just kite around and stuff and just W away to something. Like, he can get that the wolf if he wants to, but he wastes time and loses some CS here. And for some reason he's just clearing out that for no particular reason, just to like see if that's warded or not. So I don't know what that was about. He just loses quite a bit of farm, like 2 melee minions at least, 3 melee minions even. That's kind of a waste for him. So at this point in the game, I'm pretty sure that Leona's like, oh my god, jungler, help top lane. No. There's no way which I would help an Aurelia that's 0-3 as Lee Sin against the Jax. Like, he will easily double kill us. Especially if Master Yi's on the map and top side. Although, at this point in the game, he shouldn't be because the buffs just respawned and he started on his red buff, so he should be down here. But, still, I do not want to jump on a Jax who's got 3 kills. It's just like, he's one of those champions which can easily 2v1, especially if the minion wave is really big, and it is, it's bigger than ours. And she also is down 2 levels, and I don't have my 6 yet, so it's like, it's no way that's going to happen, so I just completely ignore it, which is something which I think that a lot of junglers can really get help from. I don't know what I'm going with that sentence, but in terms of knowing what you can and can't do and not getting baited by your team into things just because they're pinging it like crazy, like if you know better than to gank a guy which can easily 2v1 against your guy, which even if she gets the kill or you get the kill, it doesn't really do anything, because that guy's still going to split push and be a nuisance anyway, so it's better to ignore the fuck out of the losing piece of shit and then try and get your own fed guys, which is what we were trying to do in bot lane for so long. Although it's not really working out for us that much. There's quite a big long debacle in mid lane, so slowed things down a bit, but now I have 6, things are a lot more easy to do. I put a pink ward in this bush and realise it's warded, and then clear that out. And then they put a ward there, which I saw, and I can just hang around here. I just took my red buff, and Yi just took his red buff, so I know that he's going to be topside of the map unless he's coming down right away, which I doubt that he will. So I get hawkshotted out, and then I leave. And because of the hawk shot as well, I feel like the dragon isn't warded, and this is a huge mistake by Leona, because an Ashe which is about to be level 6 is really not a good idea to be left alone with a Lucian against. Like, Leona should not be here, and I should probably have pinged her to just fuck off, because I can solo this shit. But it's one of those things where I was taking the game more seriously, and I was trying to really focus on playing Lee in like a serious capacity, so I wasn't really feeling like communicating to people things they should or shouldn't have done. But I feel like it's not necessarily my fault that I didn't ping Leona to just leave and stay with Lucian, because Ashe was about to get level 6. I thought that when Lucian died that Ashe ulted him, and then that was the end of it. But she was only level 5 and they killed him anyway. But that, still, like, you can't leave your ADC alone against an Ashe that's level 6, like, at all. And Lee can solo dragon just fine, like any dragon at level 6, like, no problem. So, bot lane's recalling, then I see this mid lane thing. I really don't depend on getting the kill on this guy, because he obviously has his 6, but fortunately, we have a pink ward here, so I know that's not warded, and I'm not sure if any of these are warded, but fortunately he just walks straight into me, and then we take him down. Do I need to have altered that? I don't know. Let's have a look. Was the ult necessary? Probably not. Like, his thing's on cooldown. I ult him basically just to make sure that I land the Q, pretty much. Like, I don't want to just throw it blindly, because reasons. If I miss it, then it's really shitty, so I was just kind of ensuring that I would hit it by ulting him first. And also I shouldn't have returned the Q, because Jarvan would be better with the kill and not me. Especially since I already had 2 kills to begin with, so it's like, whatever. I shouldn't have taken that, because as Lee, you don't necessarily want the kills. Like, the first kill, the first or second kills you want, just because it helps your gank pressure, and then you can help your team better with your ults and frontline potential and all that type of stuff. And then after that you want to try and snowball your team, because you will fall off and you will end up doing not very much. So should I have went up and not done Raptors? Although currently at this stage of the game, because I know top lane's basically like over, like he died, I should have checked the health bars on these guys and helped the Jarvan and followed along with him. But it was kind of like at the point in the game where I just thought, fuck top lane, I'm not going anywhere near that shit. And so at this point I should have reconsidered, because Jarvan's going in and I easily could have been there. He has enough health to finish him off, but against the Jax it's a little bit more difficult. But now I'm here for the Jax and we can take him down pretty easily. Not too difficult. And again, I get the kill. I don't think I could have given up to Jarvan, just because his health was pretty low in comparison. Like, it's not particularly low, but against the Jax, which is level 8 and has 4 kills, yes, it is actually pretty low, and he can probably like 2-shot him in a Q and a W and an auto attack, and that's a really quick combo. So I wanted to make sure that we got that kill instead of fuffing about doing not much and not killing him. Like, I just wanted to make sure that he was dead and we got the shutdown gold, and shutdown gold goes to everyone, so you know, it doesn't really matter who gets the kill on that. I feel like I should have been trying to focus bot lane more and doing more stuff here. Mostly stuff's been, in terms of like positioning on the map of where things have been happening, I've been like in this kind of area. In terms of like the amount of time I've paid attention to mid and bot lane, like if I paid equal attention it'd be in the mid like at Dragon Pit, but at the moment, since I was putting a lot of attention in mid lane, I'd be around this part in the river in terms of pressure mapping the entire map as a whole. That would be on average where I would have been. And bot lane basically just keeps on pushing in, so it's really hard for me to really do anything. I feel like they played it right, because they don't need to do well. They're really good at utility, and their top lane's carrying in Master Yi or get really huge, and casting can do everything. So their bot lane and their team comp is actually really good, and they're playing it really smart. So that's good for them. And basically it's like, I can't do anything for top lane. Doing anything in mid lane is kind of basically impossible against Caston, who can just ult away. And so I think focusing bot lane is the best choice, but opportunities arose and blah blah blah. So I hop over the wall and take the blast cone over. I know that they're not going to have this warded, because no one ever has this warded or this warded. They could have seen me if they put a ward in here, but I feel like if they put a ward at the very tip of the bush, which most people do, they wouldn't have seen this. And so I wait for my W cooldown to be basically done here, and then things go in. Leona just ditches the Lucian again, which is really bad, but we pick up a nice double kill for me. And again, it's like Lucian was really low, I didn't know how the fight was going to go, and Leona shouldn't have been in this bush doing what the fuck ever she was doing for so long against a level 6 Ashe. Like, it's not ideal at all, so that's pretty bad. So generally I would say that the reason that we lost this game would be because obviously our top lane's auto-filled and picked a shitty champion to be auto-filled on. Leona's been making some really bad mistakes, and we have a mid lane Jarvan against 3 people who are going to be really strong and ahead, who can just jump out of his ult. So let's look at the Yi kill again. It was really kind of touch and go here, because it was like, we don't necessarily want to dive him, because then he can just like Q, and then we're just taking turret aggro for no reason. But he absolutely has, he's confident that he can, you know, take someone down or just put a lot of damage down, but because he has no backup, and we know that Caston was still around mid lane because this wave was here. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm all kinds of bodily functions today. I'm gonna vomit soon. So, yeah, the Yi was a little bit too pushy when the tower was too low, so we can kill him pretty simply. It was just really touchy, and we weren't sure how to handle it. It was kind of depends on what Yi wants to do, and then we just have to work around that. And he misplayed and went a little bit too far, so we kill him, and that's all well and good. So let's look at the scoreboard now. I go Ninja Tabbies because Master Yi and Ashe are going to be a nightmare, as well as the Jax. Their CC isn't really anything that I need to worry about. I mean, they've got Jax stun, they've got Ashe's ult, and Karma's W. I don't really give a shit because I can W out of it. But looking at the scoreboard generally, I'm really ahead, 6-0-1, with low CS, but I'm only one level behind on the Yi. And I think that's fine, especially since I set up at least one kill for someone, so it's like... I feel like that's okay, because he's gonna, you know, he's gonna scale regardless. He's gonna be mainly farming, and I need to be mainly ganking, because that's how it works. If I just keep power farming, then I'm just gonna lose out anyway, so... And I'm level 9 now anyway after this one camp, so it doesn't really matter too much. So now at this point in the game, we're basically just responding to the Jack split pushes, and we can kind of group mid and do stuff. I think that we see Master Yi on this ward, and then we decide to go to Rift Herald. Aurelia's good at staying down here because she's safer because this tower's here, but 3-man dive doesn't go too well for their team. They waste a lot of stuff, and they have a shitload of people down here, so we push mid. Because all they have right now is... Because Yi's dead. How did Yi die? I was looking at bot lane too much. Did Yi just try and 1v2? Yeah, Leona's trying to buy time on him. She's really out of position again, and we're not responding fast enough. But yeah, he goes a little bit too far. He's not quite strong enough yet. And because we see 3 people bot lane, and Caston really isn't that much of an issue in terms of wave clear, we can get the mid tower, because the towers aren't going to be available all the time, whereas Rift Herald's going to be available for like another 5 minutes, so it's better to go for the enemy objectives, because the neutral objectives will, you know, leave. And again, I wanted to just kill the Caston as quickly as possible, because any longer, if Caston put one more auto attack or a Q on Lucian, he'd be dead. So there's that. So right now, they killed the Jax again, so he's basically wasting his lead. So basically he doesn't have a lead anymore, and Aurelia actually starts winning out a little bit. So things are kind of even at this point, and I'm just really far ahead. And so now what it comes down to is the calls that we make and the objectives we go for. And we get Rift Herald at some point. The next dragon is Infernal. It might just be Ocean. I'm not sure how the spectator client really works in terms of dragon choosings. So we know that Jax is top lane. We don't know that Caston's over there. So we just go for the free dragon, pretty much. Like, Jax is the only one that we're really scared of, and they don't really have much steal potential outside of Karma Q and Ashe W, and I guess Kassadin jumping in. So dragon's pretty safe and easy. It's not that difficult to take, especially if I have smite, which I probably didn't, as is my classic thing. Of course I didn't have smite. Classic jungler doesn't have smite when taking objectives, pretty good. So I'm pretty sure that we saw Yi. We definitely see Yi down here, and so we figure that taking Rift Herald was the best thing because reasons. Because we want to hit them where they aren't, and we don't have any other thing to really go for. Like, we got top towers to go for. Basically, we want to play on the top half of the map in terms of objective plays. And so at this point of the game, it's going pretty well for us, and so long as we don't fuck up like crazy, and then we eventually do, we should be fine. The Aurelia can easily 1v1, I think, the Yi, but she can't 1v1 the Jax. There's a big fight in mid lane, and as soon as we get the kill on that guy, we've got 4 of us, so I summon the thing. the old thingery moony, because that was really glitchy. It's kind of funny. But after this tower, we get really pushy, as you'll soon see. We see that Yi's up there, and he just starts recalling their bot lane, I guess, recalled too, whoever was down there. But then we get really greedy for this tower, and we really want to get it. Which we should have left at this point. As soon as Herald dies, we should leave. When the Ash Arrow comes out, then this whole fight starts happening, then Yi comes in. Like, right now we should leave. Just back out right now. But Jarvan wants to go in. He probably didn't have, like, a very clear idea of what the situation was, and he just ults in. Although, again, I feel like I could have just pinged, and everyone would have left. But, again, it's like, is that really my fault? Everyone could have pinged to not go in. Hello everyone, it's Boop from the future reviewing my review, and I wanted to go back onto this fight because I feel like this is actually a fight which we can win, but our team and myself played this really fucking badly. So what happens here is that Jarvan goes in, we have Leona as the front line, basically we have our people in the front line really nicely, except Aurelia and me, but that's fine because I'm really low, and so we get this really good, that's a really good Jarvan ult right there. Because all of their damage is locked up right here. And Lucian, for some reason, I don't know why he flashed into the Cataclysm, because he easily could have just auto-attacked them from outside, and it would have been fine against the Yi, and he wouldn't have been life-stealing. Which I'm assuming he has life-steal. Yes, he does. And then for some reason, Leona's going on the Karma, Aurelia's going on the Karma. I felt like I needed to go on the Karma, just because I had no HP, so I didn't want to be near their damage. Because I could easily just get auto attack like once or twice and catch a stray ability and then get killed. But our focus in this fight was really, really bad. And if we actually fought that properly and we, killed their damage threats which are all locked up, then we could have easily gotten the inhib and then rotated into top towers and all that type of stuff. So basically our target selection was really bad because Yi was just basically hanging on with like 5 HP the whole time. So it was like, we thought he was going to die, but it was just really bad. And even Lucian still had a heal. And Jarvan had Ignite, so it's like, this fight easily could have been won. Like, we easily would have killed Yi, Castin, and Karma. Maybe not the Jax, maybe not the Ashe, but Ashe doesn't have Flash and Jax can't 1v4. So it's like, that fight was really badly played. It could have been won, or it could have just not happened at all, but basically we just misplayed I think we misplayed the choice to fight, and then we misplayed the fight itself. So it's like, whatever. So this is from the future, and back on with the rest of the review. But we did it anyway, and basically this is the end of the game. This is the point I was talking about, is that Master Yi just got 4 kills. And that's absolutely gigantic. Like, there's basically no coming back from that. They have Yi and Jax, and we have no answer to them, because Aurelia can't fight them now, I can't fight them, Jarvan can't fight them. We can 5v5, probably, because we got some nice AoEs, we got Leona and me and Jarvan, I guess, and Aurelia for peel on the Lucian, but the Lucian wasn't particularly strong, I don't think, and the Jarvan is just like, I don't know, it's Jarvan mid, for Christ's sake, who the fuck knows. So essentially, at this point in the game, it's kind of over. We can still win, because obviously it's solo queue, but in terms of the scaling game, we are completely outclassed, and it's just going to go worse for us unless the enemy team is really stupid. Which can happen in solo queue from time to time, so it's I always think that it's worth playing out in these kind of situations, because surrender vote did go up after the quadra kill over here. So, that's all well and good. For some reason, Aurelia and Lucian are sharing farm top when Lucian could have just been down here. Maybe he got the red buff. No, there's no red buff, so I don't know why he's not down here. Then I have to clear this, which I guess is fine. But again, I don't need the gold. Like, I'm not going to do well with the gold. And Jarvan shows up, then I leave, because like someone else other than me is getting it, which is fine. So, in terms of what we can do to win this game from now, is that the only thing I can think of is that Aurelia gets kind of like a split push going with her TP up and just draws someone out to, to answer her and stop her, because someone has to go over there. And then she can probably TP into a fight that we have at some point in the jungle or something. And then Jarvan's basically, his best idea, I think, at this stage is that his ult doesn't mean shit to 3 of their players. It only means anything to the Ashe and the Karma, so I feel like if he ults into the Ashe and the Karma, and then EQs out back towards our team. And then we can kill the Yi, which is diving our backline, and we can kill the Jax, who's diving our backline, and we kill the Kassadin, who's diving our backline, with all 5 of us, which is doable because we've got Lee Sin ult, we've got a stun in Aurelia, we've got Leona, who's full of CC. But I feel like it's, at this point in the game, it's probably still not enough, because Lucian is definitely not strong enough to take on 3 of their guys just whacking on him. Like, all those 3 have to do is just hit him once, and then he's dead, and then we have no DPS. Then the game's over. So, basically, the game all fell apart around mid-tower with the dedication to push for it when we should have just left, and I should have pinged that. And it was just like I feel like in my headspace it was just a really surreal kind of game, because I'm doing really well on Lee Sin, which very rarely happens, because usually I'm going in for really bad plays, because I usually just play him in flex queue just to test how far I can push him. So I think that to take away from this, min-maxing like respawn timers, because again, we could have killed the Yi when he flashed over this wall really awkwardly if I recalled after a Gromp like as soon as possible. And I feel like if the Aurelia, who actually sometimes plays Malphite with a decently good win rate, just played Malphite top, then this would have been a lot easier of a game. Because that would have been a lot of just that ult power. Like, as soon as their team dives on our backline, if we have Malphite ult, then it's going to be so easy to clean them up, and it's a good amount of damage and stuff. So, also the Jarvan pick was weird, and Leona kept abandoning Lucian, which was the only way that we could win, I feel like. So, I don't know, I don't feel like I could have done as, like, too much more in this game, other than trying to shot call a little bit better and more clearly to my team. Which I'm not really particularly used to. I don't know, I feel like the rest of our team kind of gave up, because after that quadra kill in mid, that was kind of like everyone just didn't want to play anymore. And I was the one which was doing the best on the team, so I should have been directing people a little bit more, because if you get a good score, then people will listen to you. But no one's going to listen to the fucking Aurelia, obviously, because basically she just ruined the game because we can't do anything about the Jax. And then Yi gets a big setup in mid-game, so that's pretty much it. If you have any comments to leave in the comment section, then please do. If you want to question any plays which I made, or think that I missed anything which was important, then let me know. And thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.